everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the comic book review show where we take a comic from last week, review it, give you our opinions, and then give you recommendations for books that are coming out this week on Wednesday. So, coming up, we're talking about Uncanny X-Men Annual 2016, which came out last week. It was a big issue, according to everybody on Twitter, so we decided to talk about it, and let's address the elephant in the room.
That Ben's not here?
Ben's not here.
And Ben loves the X-Men.
That's right.
But Ben had to work late.
Yeah, on the one day. This is not supposed to work.
On the day. This is the day.
This is the day.
This is his day.
And it's not happening.
And he's not here.
Uncanny X-Men Annual number 1 is written by Cullen Bunn, and then there's another story by Anthony Piper, with art by Ken Lashley and also by Anthony Piper. So there are two terrific stories in here.
Yes.
The first of which is there a cure for Mpox? No. What do you think, initial thoughts of X-Men Annual 2016?
I just want to address the fact that I have not been reading X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least with an annual, it's always... They do usually a nice job of, like, filling you in.
Yeah.
And that first page where they had the summary,
Yes.
I was like, thank you.
For me, I don't normally read too much X-Men. Mm-hmm. I liked old school X-Men, and I tried to get into all new X-Men, which was a big mistake.
Right.
And then I was like,
You did read, like, Magneto.
I did love Cullen Bunn's Magneto. And Cullen Bunn's writing of this was also really reflective of the way I know and understand X-Men to be. Right. This was, for me, a quintessential X story, where it was full of melodrama and high stakes and colorful characters. And there are a couple of, like, iconic characters and then a bunch of characters that you're like, who? And that's, like, all about what the X-Men are all about.
Yeah.
For me, the unsung hero is Ken Lashley in the art.
The art was really great.
Right?
No, it was fantastic, which is, I guess I expect that, because I think pretty much not every, but most X-Men books that we have ever read over time, like, has looked amazing.
It's true.
The fact that, like, they chose a smaller cast, I think, like, in terms of, again, this probably could be easily where the story was.
Right.
But, like, that was a great idea for an annual. Because I'm like, okay, I know Magneto. Cool.
Yeah, and I'll figure them all out through Magneto. The thing that it diverges from in terms of X-Men stuff, it didn't cut away to like 8 different plot lines, which I really appreciated.
Right.
It's changed from the usual X formula.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely had the one plot line going.
And that was kind of it.
That was it. Like, that was all we had. And that was
simple through
that was very cool. And, like, you definitely could see Bunn's, like, strength.
Yeah.
Which was writing for Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Magneto, like, in this one issue, like, I'm like, not that I didn't know his character, but, like, wow, you completely summed up everything I need to know about Magneto in this issue.
For me, Magneto is such a bastard.
Yeah.
And he is, outside of Ra's al Ghul, one of the most afraid of death comic book characters I've ever met. And he is so exemplified in that moment where he almost dies.
Yeah.
He says, not like this! I have so much more to do! Like, he has such an inflated sense of self.
Yeah.
And he is just always about just slipping by one more time.
Right,
It's so funny to me.
Elixir, like, what a task to have to color that.
Yeah, and nailed it.
It's gorgeous. Like, I was like, wow!
Didn't know much about Elixir, didn't care.
No.
Loved the look.
Yeah.
So I'm on board.
Yeah.
That's for me. For me, like, as a child, being a fan of the X-Men, that was why Nightcrawler and Colossus were my favorite X-Men. I'm like, I like how those characters look, and then y'all figure out the rest from there.
Right.
If I were a child now, Elixir, he's cool looking, and he seems to have an interesting character.
Right.
And he seems to have a role to play in all this. Maybe he will.
Who knows? I don't know.
I guarantee. Here's the thing. They're saying that, like, a lot of people are talking about how, like, Elixir tries to cure Mpox.
Yeah.
And he winds up helping, like,
a handful.
2 people.
Yeah.
But his powers also wind up screwing over some humans, which I'm sure Magneto's like, yay.
Yeah, Magneto did not seem too concerned, other than that it could affect him inevitably, and then does.
Yeah. But for me, they're not gonna let Elixir fix Mpox. Also, there's a fun Domino backup.
Yeah, I actually really liked that.
Yeah.
A lot. I was like, what a fun little, like, just spy, like...
Yeah, it was almost like a backup that just said, don't forget Domino's really cool.
Yeah, you know what it seemed like to me, in which is, like, I kind of like the idea of, like, this type of pitching, where it's just like, here's a fun, just one-shot Domino story.
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah, like, let's play in the X universe for a second.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about all of that.
Yeah, like, it was just really cool and fun, and like, yeah, it was a lot of talking, but like, I appreciated like the kind of explanation of how her powers work.
Yes. You need that, because if you don't know how Domino's powers work, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into some recommendations for books that are coming out this week.
Okay.
Slim pickings this week for recommendations, but I did find a diamond in the rough, and that's Action Comics number 968 from DC Comics, written, of course, by Dan Jurgens, with art this time by Tyler Kirkham. This is part 2 of the Men of Steel story, or with the Lex Luthor beating Superman, and the Superman characters working together, or butting heads. I love this series. I love Superman. I haven't read this much Superman since he died. That sounds very Batman of me, but let me tell you something. This series, Action Comics and Adjectiveless Superman, fantastic and phenomenal. Every book that has Superman in it is great. So it stands to reason that I'd be on board for Action Comics. But Dan Jurgens doing a nice job. The fact is the characters are fun and the story's great. So if you want action-oriented Superman books, Action Comics is your title.
So I know Sal said there were slim pickings this week, but I disagree. Because even though I'm not recommending it over in DC, there's like Hellblazer number 4, which is awesome. But I'm going to go over to Marvel real quick because my man Doctor Strange has Sorcerer Supreme number 2 coming out. That's written by Robbie Thompson with art by Javier Rodriguez. I like number 1. I am getting warmed up to this. I still love Aaron's run the best. That's my favorite Doctor Strange book right now. But this is picking up in that continuity, and we get to see like Doctor Strange working with Wiccan and a young ancient one and like Sir Isaac Newton, and that's just cool and fun, and I can't wait to see how they solve this huge problem that's been left to them by Merlin. So I am excited for this. So I'm still gonna pick it up. I'm gonna see how it's going because I'm enjoying this whole, like, for me it's like a year of Doctor Strange, so I'm gonna ride this as long as I can. But then I also, very quickly, Image. I gotta give a shout out because there is a 3-part series coming out and I have been waiting for this and very excited, and the number 1 is coming out. It's AD After Death, written by Scott Snyder with art by Jeff Lemire. I'm really excited for this. You know, I loved Snyder's Witches, of course, so the fact that Snyder is taking on death, and by that I mean, like, in this world, death has been cured. Like, the future is just, it's fine. They figured it out, and this one guy is going to start questioning everything, and it's going to take him on this journey. And the fact that I know it's a short series, it's just 3 issues, I know there's beginning, middle, and end, and I'm really looking forward to see what Snyder has to say about this concept, because I think it's fascinating myself, and based on Witches, I know there's a lot going on up there that's kind of messed up in a good way, in an awesome way. So I gotta pick this up. I gotta warn you though, the price tag for this is a little high. It's $6, but don't forget you're only getting 3 of these, so I'm still gonna get it. Still excited. I think it's a good week. Nick.
There you have it, everybody. We'll see you guys next week with another episode of Off the Rack. Hopefully with Ben on the couch.
I was gonna say, before y'all freak out.
Yeah, Ben'll be back, so chill out.
Back. We didn't kill him. He didn't go away. Man has a job.
Probably enjoyed this episode anyway.
Right?
You know, it was a fun episode. We had some fun. We had some laughs.
We had a good time.
We had a good talk.
Sal enjoyed an X-Men book.
I did.
So, sheesh.
Yeah, so give it a rest, all right? Anyway, we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for watching.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Yeah,
if you're from the U.S.
That's right.
And if you're not, then we just know that we ate a lot of food.
Yeah.
And then all went shopping.
Yes. If you want to, like, kick an American, the day to do it is, like, Friday. Because he'll just be so tired.
Or, like, yeah. Maybe not. Thursday night, maybe.
Yeah.
Because by Friday, everybody's amped up on adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because you gotta get the big savings.
Black Friday.
So,
which is another thing in America that sucks.
Yeah. It's bad. Yeah. I'm still gonna go.
That's a good idea.
I like to watch the world burn.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I'm like Magneto.